What's up, Falcon Nation? Voice of the Friends University Falcons, Pat Strathman with you, joined by head football coach at Friends University, Terry Harrison. This is episode number 4, and this is our second time here at Chicken Max, located here in Wichita. Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like the mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and more. They also have club salads and power bowls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max, which we're displaying 3 of them right here on camera, in case you're wondering. 3 locations in Wichita coming out to Chicken Max and give them some love. They're the ones that make this possible. 3 locations in Wichita. We are at the Weston Maple location, 325 Southwest Street. Coming out and support Chicken Max. Well, Coach, 1-2 after the last 2. Number 23, Bethel, 28-16. A 10-0 lead, though, at the end of the first quarter. A great start, forcing a turnover, more so a blunder on special teams, but your team was ready for it, pounced on the opportunity, got a field goal, already off to a great start. Defensively, you held Bethel in check for the entire first half. You had the turnover. It results in a short field for Bethel. They would capitalize. 10-7 lead, though, at the half. Going to the second half, that was kind of the energy booster that Bethel needed, as Bethel got a touchdown on the board and then another turnover turned into another touchdown. But, hey, your kids competed all the way to the very end, and the final score says 28-16. In all reality, 21-16 was the final score, as there was a pick six at the very end of the game that, at the end of the day, didn't matter on a fourth and very long. But still, kids competed for the first 2022 home opener at Adair Austin Stadium. Your thoughts on the game this past weekend?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's like there's like double-edged sword. I don't even know what you would call it. Like on one hand, so frustrated that we weren't able to finish it out. Especially that end of the first half was a very frustrating set of plays. Where we had some penalties where we backed ourselves up a little bit, and then obviously the turnover. We had a missed opportunity to maybe go up even 17-0. So that was incredibly frustrating. And then, the second half felt like, we left some stuff on the table. And, it's frustrating because as a coaching staff, we're new. We're new. The kids, we're all learning. We don't have experience together. We're learning to, game situations just simply aren't practicing. So that was extremely frustrating where, we just felt like we were a couple things away from being successful. We had some very simple bust is what we call them. That it was like, and you and I talked about those a little earlier today where, that defensive tackle was making a play in the backfield. Like, what's going on with that? And it was just such a simple thing, right? And obviously, it's not a kid issue. That's we take that as coaches. We want to make sure we set them up for success. But that was a minor thing that was definitely frustrating. And then on the other side, so extremely proud. We last year Bethel won that game 59-3. And then when they come out this year and they come out and they're number 23 team in the country, and we're able to close that gap in such a short time to where now you're playing. I think everyone on their team was a returning starter, or at least played a lot of college football. Right. I mean, there was so much experience on their end that has played in playoff games and all that stuff, and been co-conference and conference champions for the last 2 years. To know we closed that gap. I mean, you have to be proud of our guys and just the effort they put in to close that gap. And so, like I said, on two sides of it, frustrated, but also so proud of the kids. And then, all the families in a rainy night, there was a bunch of people there and all that stuff, but everybody stuck it out. And there at the end of the game to see, all those families that were there to support the kids and make them feel, let them know that they were proud of them. So, that's the game of football, and that's the game of when you're building a brand new program and you're treating it like a startup program. Sometimes to learn how to win those games, you got to know how you lost them, and so that's kind of how we've approached it as a staff.
How about the defense and the way that things changed? You take on a top 15 team in the country in Kansas Wesleyan, 70-0 being the final score. Now, not all 70 of that coming because of the defense. There were some other areas that happened too. But you take a look at this past game against Bethel, 21 points only given up by your defense. And that first half, basically pitching a shutout to the final 2 minutes of the first half. When you pitch a shutout in 28 in the first 30 minutes, that's got to be really encouraging considering what happened the week before up in Salina on the road. You made some adjustments. I'm sure Coach Kemp was certainly proud of that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's kind of the thing, right? Football is a game of adjustments, and, as kids and coaches, this idea when we're talking about getting experience together, I've kind of alluded to it in the preseason, like we need to go through we need hard times as a program. You got to go through some hard things together to truly build a championship program. And, we got to do that. 2 weeks ago we had a rough one, and they come out and play defense at the level they did against, multiple All-Americans on the field for Bethel, a Conference Player of the Year on the field for Bethel. Man, to do that and have that rough week 2 weeks ago and come out and play so well in the first half and just give us multiple opportunities. I mean, we were on a short field. They really made a bunch happen. So that was, man, awesome. So proud of the defense. And quite honestly, did great the second half. We just had – it's never as bad as it seems, in football. And when you go back and watch the film, it's just – it's a crazy game because it's very frustrating, and we had a shot to, even play better. But, no, they did awesome. So proud of them, the staff, all the players, to back up to play another top 25 team and to make that big of a jump. I mean, that's a win for our program. As frustrating as it was, that is a win for our program. I mean, and it points to the future ahead. So that's really exciting.
Also, being individual guys on the defensive side that you got to bring up. Nolan Ewing had himself a heck of a game, 15 tackles there. There's some other guys, too, that did very well. But Nolan's certainly the number one guy. Shamarius Davis was very active on the field. I know we're going to hear from Davon Mason later on today here on the Friends University Coaches Show. Davon being one of those guys that came over from Bethel College to play at Friends University. He had himself a good game. But I think you got to start with Nolan, right? 15 tackles from your safety and coming up and making those hits. That's a tough thing to do, but no one likes to hit some people. So I think he enjoyed that on Saturday.
Yeah, man, he's been awesome, from the day we got here. He's been, really excited, embraced everything we've been asking him to do. And then, what was really cool about that was, he had 15 tackles. He had a couple that were highlight tackles. He tackled one of those bubbles like he meant it, you know what I mean? And then what I was most proud of, that last when we were down by whatever 16-21. We were down 16-21, I think it was. All four of those goal line tackles were made by Nolan. He made every one of them. And he tackled the returning Offensive Player of the Year and didn't allow him to score. And I think that it just tells you how tough he is, how committed he is thing, and he just sheerly out of will refused to let them score. And then we got the ball back, and we were pinned back in there late, but that's all you can ask for in that opportunity. And the defense as a whole, but certainly Nolan on those plays, gave us an opportunity to get the ball back and take a shot to try to win, and that's what we were trying to do. And so, anyway, no, he was awesome. So just such a good kid. Couldn't be prouder of him. It was fun to watch him play, and we're only going to get better from there.
And the goal line stop, I'm glad you brought that up, because that goal line stop, I'm watching it develop up above, and you're thinking, all right, well, you get this close, all you got to do is just run it in, and that's that, and that will truly officially end the game. But your defense said, you know what, we're not going to let the game be decided right here. We're going to keep ourselves alive by coming up with some stops. And you brought up the point there about how you're taking on some great offensive players from last year, a team that knew a thing or two about running the football. So the fact that you're able to come up with those stops at the goal line, that's got to be another big confidence booster for the defense going forward.
Yeah, we want to be the toughest team in the country, and our kids are, they're doing that. They're doing their best to achieve that every day. But, those situations now, when you can do that in a game, in that situation where it truly mattered, where it had been very easy to just let them walk in the end zone, for them to tighten up, and get a stop there. Now, moving forward, number one, it was big for that game to give us a chance to win. But then number two, when we get in that scenario again, the kids will have confidence to know, hey, we've done this before. We can get a stop. And, we're going to need that at some point. In this season, there's going to be a goal line stand we're going to need to either cement a game or have a chance to win. And so I think more than anything, it builds on, future wins. It builds on future opportunities for the kids. And so, man, I thought that was, so awesome. And, I kind of came up as a defensive guy, as a coach. It just makes you real proud. And that's just as cool as seeing a touchdown get scored, because how hard it is to do that.
No doubt. Flip it over to the offensive side of the ball. You're taking on one of the top defenses in the country, and tough sledding when you take on a team that is really good defensively. It could be a challenge, especially with an offense you're still learning at times. These players are still learning the playbook and still learning the tendencies, so on and so forth. So it's all about that learning process. So the fact that you combine that going up against another defense for the second week in a row that's really, really stout, it can be challenging. Your thoughts on the offensive side?
Yeah, there was just some tough sledding. The way they played us. We practiced it every day. We there was no surprises necessarily. We practiced every front every day, so our kids can never be confused on a Saturday. But it just came down to they have a bunch of experience coming back, and it was tough sledding in there at times. And so we had some missed opportunities, and we kind of just we just didn't give it our best shot. And for a lot of reasons. So that was definitely frustrating, and it was hard, because they're so talented on defense, and so very talented DBs, which made it really tough on the perimeter because they're with those guys that can cover anybody in the country, that makes it hard. And then inside, their linebacking core is as good as we'll probably see all season. So there was just some tough sledding there, but I felt like our guys, man, we popped a couple. We had a big run by KK, and I know he'll be on here. That was so awesome to watch him go and score, and that's just kind of a sign of what we can do, and really felt like. All things considered, you throw a freshman quarterback in the game and Andrew Arnold, and it's like, hey, here, you're going to play. By the way, you're about to play the best defense in the conference, so good luck and have fun, And so, again, it's kind of another scenario where, you obviously so disappointed that you want to win that game, and certainly there's things we look back on like, just little things that really stopped us from, moving the ball as much as we wanted. But you build future wins because now. Man, when you play someone else that may not be quite that talent or that quite that physical, it will only benefit our young quarterback and our young group. I don't think we're playing anyone that has. Everybody that's playing on offense currently has more seasons left in the tank, and so not necessarily by design, it's just the way it is. And
sure.
So that will build experience and wisdom for those guys to where moving forward that they'll be ready for those situations.
Well, KK's run, I was just impressed. Great field vision, and for a freshman to be like that, and talk about the Bethel defense. You look at KK; he's probably 125 pounds, soaking wet. KK, I mean that in all. I say that tongue in cheek. I say that jokingly, so on and so forth. But you look at Caden Rigsby, and it's not like he's that big of a dude. But he certainly got the speed, and going up against a Bethel linebacking crew like that could be a little intimidating. But it felt like Caden was up for the challenge, and that one run that he had that broke for the touchdown to make it a 10-0 ball game. I thought, man, what great vision by KK to be able to cut it like that and find the end zone for a score.
Yeah, he has been honestly he's been. He's graded out as high as any slot we've had. So he's graded the highest every day at practice, and he's been the most prepared at practice and as far as grading out. And how coaches you're evaluating every day. So, man, it just speaks to who he is. He comes from Gunner, Texas, Gunner High School down there. They've won a bunch of – he's played in state championship games in football. He's played in state championship games in baseball. And so he's got experience in big-time atmospheres. He is definitely, taking on that challenge. And, he's the right kid. And at our slot position, we can play those undersized guys who play with a chip on their shoulder. And, I don't know that we've had anyone in my last, however many years I've been coaching college football that has his, just the mindset every day at practice. And we've had some real good ones. Coach Mace is one of them who's coaching with us. We've had some All-Americans there too. And he's as physical, and he's got as good a mentality for that position as anybody we've ever coached. And so, I'm just excited to watch him to continue to develop. And as good as he was with that run, he was a warrior and a tough guy. And just I think he played every snap almost. To get in there and do that was just, man, it's just impressive. And again, that guy's going to be a cornerstone of this program, and it's going to be, we're going to look back at this and just point to these games to where this whole thing started. And so, definitely proud of him, and I know his family is as well, and definitely proud of a young man like that. Is how tough he's played.
Well, the other one to highlight, Zach Dressler with a 63-yard touchdown. When you're thinking, well, offense, it's tough. You're trying to get stuff rolling, and yet Bethel just want to give up, just continue to stonewall you for the most part. Finally, you hit on a big one from Zach Dressler, and I always have to remind myself, anyone that was watching the video stream, I always had to stop and delay for a second just to make sure, does Zach have it or not? Let's see if he has it. And he broke away, and I'm like, okay, that looks like a touchdown. And he got hit into the end zone and got down to the 5-yard line. I thought he was going to get caught from behind, but Zach Dressler housing it 63 yards away from the end zone. That's always a major plus, and a good read by Andrew Arnold too to make sure that happened.
Yeah, well, that's our deal. One of our goals every week is we call it establishing that B-back, and he is electric. And what was cool to see, he's not just a hammer. To watch him and how in the open field, and he made some moves there and scored. And he did the same thing there at Panhandle. He's he's a special player and he's a special kid and just an awesome teammate. And so that was big because it just kind of, man, it was so hard for him to go and make that play. But it was it was awesome. And to see the old linemen, the way they were playing, they kind of picked it up there on that series. And so it paid off with a touchdown, and then it gave us a little bit of a lift, and it really propelled us to get back on the field and have a shot to win it there late. And so it was awesome, fun to watch him play. And again, you talk about a kid who potentially could be a cornerstone of this program, and certainly has showed that early in his career at Friends.
No doubt. Before we get to maybe some other stuff this week, you have a game on the road in Hillsboro taking on the Tabor Blue Jays, 6 o'clock kick. Tabor, over the years, I think offensively it's been a challenge for Mike Gardner's bunch, but Mike Gardner has all the respect in the world from, I think, every coach in the conference, and rightfully so. The guy has done a pretty good job. You want to talk about rebuilding, that's probably one thing you look at and go, yeah, if we can be like that, that'd be a good thing, right? But there's one thing that we know about Tabor. Tabor, over the years, it's always about that defense. That defense is always so tough. And I don't know what it is, other than the fact that I think they're just so defensively sound in the way that they do things. I think that's why it just makes it so tough to try to crack the code with that Tabor defense.
Yeah, I played in this conference, and I played against Coach Gardner. So I mean, it's certainly he's been doing this a long time, multiple Coach of the Year awards, and they've won. It's been a little bit, but at one point they were the top team in the conference. I forget how many years ago it was now, but there was a time when they know how to win games, I guess is the best way to put that.
Sure.
And, you don't forget those things when you're a coach, and so they certainly. They know how to play football there, and they work really hard at it, just like the rest of us. But no, they're defensively. The cool part is we've played against them now, and we kind of have an idea. But they've played us in 7 different fronts on defense every time we've played them, and so that's the challenge, right? You're preparing a young group for that many fronts, and we practice the way we do for a reason, and that's kind of the secret to what we do. And so it's just another opportunity for our kids to get game experience. And so regardless of outcome, right, we're going to go try to win this thing because that's what we do. But we do know when you play a game and you're going to get multiple fronts, man, it's just going to make our guys more comfortable. And we've been able to do that at practice every day anyway this whole season, so it won't be new to our guys. But it will be in a game setting, probably the most multiple defense we've seen, as opposed to someone just sitting in a front and play us with a certain way. We're going to get a billion fronts. And so, we're going to have to make sure that our guys are ready to go and can block everything up.
And on the flip side, trying to stop Tabor, you want to talk about being multiple. It's the same thing offensively, right? I haven't had a chance to really watch Tabor a whole heck of a lot this year. I caught them when they were up taking on Iowa Wesleyan, and I couldn't help but just kind of chuckle because I'm just kind of like, all right. Because the thing is about what they do is it's so remarkable. If anyone has never seen it, they'll come out in shotgun and show you spread out. They'll spread it out with 4 wide. Maybe they'll put it in tight end, whatever, change up the personnel that way. The very next play, they could go under center wing T. So as someone who's trying to plan against that, I imagine that's got to be a very challenging thing.
Well, and luckily for us, we have played against them, right? And so we actually a couple years ago went and during the COVID year, that was the game that we clinched the conference championship with, was playing them. And they played, like you just mentioned, they ran the wing T the whole game, and they hadn't lined up and ran a wing T the whole season. And so, I'm sure there's valid reasons for that, but it certainly poses a challenge. Like, what do you get ready for the last several seasons? But it seems like they've maybe more have found an identity in what they want to do, and so that's what we're going to prepare for. But knowing that, hey, you better throw some wing T cards in there, some dead T cards in there, and so, that's so it definitely has. It's fun as a coach. Like, okay, what offense are we going to see, right? But regardless, they're going to be. They've always been a physical group. Like Coach Gardner's always had physical teams. And when you have physical defense, it tends to kind of carry over to your offense. But no, we've had to give our kids every possible front you can, or offensive formation you can see, and so kind of rolling the dice there, right? So adjusting mid game will be a big part of this game, and like I said, luckily we have some experience coaching against them.
Well, you said this week in practice, not too bad. So another great week of practice, which I know something that you and I were talking about, just how you get a chance to know these student athletes and these kids a little bit more. And at the end of the day, if you have kids that are coming into work every single day, they have great attitudes, they show it in the classroom, and they also show it out there on the field, and they show it in the community. Anytime that you have that type of mentality of man, just good character. That's at the end of the day, wins and losses, yeah, everyone's looking at wins and losses. That's just the way it goes. But when you can go out there and you do win and lose with a group of guys that you can be proud of, a group of guys that you can see blossoming into very awesome young men that are going to go on and have great careers in their lives. I'm sure that's got to be a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, we don't have a shortage of awesome kids, or that whatever term you want to use, great kids, good kids. We are full of that. Our kids are awesome. They care, there's to the nth degree they care about this thing, and so. That's where you can get frustrated as a coach because you only want good things for these kids, and you want them to feel success on the football field. And as a staff, we've won a bunch of games and we've lost games, whatever. We've achieved a lot as coaches, but you want it so much for the kids, and you can feel that for the parents too. And you want it for their families that have chosen friends, and they brought these awesome kids here to Wichita, and you want them to have this championship experience, But what's cool is it speaks as much to their character because they've showed up. Every challenge that we've issued, they've answered. Every day that's been hard, they show up and they're positive and they get back to work, and so no two jobs are the same, but we've been there and done that before, and we know how to build a program. And I can tell you, if it's true that football is like the game of life and you learn all these life lessons, if that's true, which I believe it is, and football is a game that teaches life, man, our kids are going to have a great life, and our kids are going to be awesome professionals, and they're going to go on and do great things. And so our job now is to try to translate this thing to where they can look back and have some wins and be extremely proud of their career here. And so no, they've been awesome at practice, and had that JV game you and I talked about. They were awesome there. So yeah, it's been an awesome week.
JV 2-0.
Yeah, JV national champions. We take that very seriously.
Yeah, how many ring pops did you purchase?
Well, 72 ring pops is what it took. For those that don't know, that was our deal. We celebrate our JV national championship with a ring pop celebration. We posted that picture on Twitter. Feel free to check that out and like and comment on that post. But we do that because number one, football is supposed to be fun, right? And for me, one of the things that is fun is developing kids. And we've always taken pride as former high school coaches being a developmental program, right? And it's so hard in college football because it is hard to play college football. And it is competitive. And you're always trying to bring in good players. And you always have these returners and this dynamic of building a team with returners and new guys. But to the best of our ability, we want to play these JV football games because it is college football, right? And it gives these kids opportunities to get game experience and learn to win. And we were, as a staff, luckily we've been undefeated in college football in JV games since we started coaching in college, and we think that's because our kids get to practice every day and we are developing them. And so to see them do that and just have fun playing the game of football, I really believe, Hastings was fun and we won. I'm proud of the kids. But it was still, like we're learning each other and how am I supposed to play and how am I supposed to act on the sideline. And the first half of Bethel felt that level, but somehow in the second half of that Bethel JV game, all of a sudden you could hear some plastic on plastic collisions, like football the way it's meant to be played. Kids were smiling. Kids were celebrating each other's success, right? And that is the first glimpse, and really even counting the Panhandle win of, hey, that's how we play football here. And so the hope is that propels us forward. And also, just a comment on JV football, everybody we played against at Bethel that was on the field Saturday all played in a JV football game at Bethel College.
I was just going to ask the development of JV because I saw it up close in person up in Salina at Kansas Wesleyan, especially with Kansas Wesleyan women's basketball. And it's amazing when you look on the floor and you go, how many of these players went 2 years in JV, 3 years in JV just to get their shot, and they get the opportunity and they end up being really – instrumental to the success that season.
Yeah, exactly. And and everything I've said, I really believe it gives kids an opportunity to play, and they want to play. And we try to give equal reps as much as we can, like quarters. So we're not going to strictly win. The purpose is much greater than that. But they're keeping score, so let's try to win those things. And we were able to do that. I forget the scores of those games, but it was awesome. And like I said, we just had fun, and it was cool, and to watch our kids compete and have fun. And like I said, some of the kids, when you're young and you were a starter at high school and varsity for however long, you get to become a freshman again. And we're a young program, so we are playing some freshmen, but we have a lot of freshmen who aren't too. And to see those kids smile and have fun and get reminded of, hey, football is fun and playing is fun. And I think it's a good reminder of why they came and what their goals are. So, no, we take our whole staff. We take it very seriously, and we're headsets on, and we're coaching trying to win, and the programs we played against have been the same. And so, yeah, wins in two different states, right? We had a win at Bethel, and then we beat Hastings there a couple weeks ago. So, Guys have been road warriors on JV, and next year we get to have those games at home, so that'll be even cooler. We ain't got to travel as much.
You a big ring pop guy? Pop guy?
I got a jumbo ring pop. I think mine is a sour apple, but I preferred blue raspberry, but I gave all those away. No big deal.
Man, here we are. We're DP guys. We're guys that like blue raspberry. Man, it's like this is meant to be or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, where would you rank? I mean, I'm sure ring pop's not your top candy.
No.
I'm sure your top candy's got to be something else.
Well, I've been a Twix guy here lately, believe it or not. I have a sweet tooth.
My wife would definitely like that answer.
But
She's
you got to go with
Twix.
the salted caramel Twix. It's not just normal Twix. You got to go with the
Okay.
salted caramel. So, I go there. Milky Way is not a bad choice from time to time. It just, again, salted caramel. But I have to work out because I'm probably not working out enough, actually. But I got to work out so I can eat candy.
You and I both. That's what I need. I need to work at a whole heck of a lot just to kind of shake off the old marriage weight, I suppose. You come together, it's like, man, this is good eats. This is great. There's this thing called working out. I need to get back to it. So
That's right.
you and I both need to get onto that, I guess. But you're in better shape than I am, so you're doing just fine. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Best of luck against Tabor.
Thank you.
Terry Harrison, head football coach at Friends University, here on the Friends University Coaches Show. It's Friends and Tabor this Saturday at 6 o'clock up in Hillsboro. Friends 1-2 after a loss to number 23 Bethel, 28-16. Well, we are here at Chicken Max. We're not done yet. We still got more to come. Coming up next here on the Friends University Coaches Show, a couple players. You'll hear from the freshman from Gunter, Texas in KK, Caden Rigsby, and we'll also visit with Davon Mason as well. Don't go anywhere. More of the Friends University Coaches Show coming your way soon. Welcome back to the Friends University Coaches Show. I'm Pat Strothman. Pleased to be joined by two players on the Friends University football team. To my left, a defensive back from Akron, Ohio. Look at that. He gave himself a little wave. How about that? He's waving to the camera. Look at that. This guy's ready for it. Davon Mason is the guy to my left. To the right here is Caden Rigsby. He's just a freshman from Gunter, Texas. We are here from Chicken Max, 3 locations in Wichita. And we'll talk more about Chicken Max as we go along here in the second portion of the Friends University Coaches Show. Fellas, glad to have you here. It's a pleasure. It's awesome. I know the season's rocking and rolling. I know we're recapping a loss more so than talking about a win. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I think steps taken forward with a 28-16 loss. In all reality, it felt like 21-16 if it wasn't for a last-second pick six. But Dave, I'll start with you. You're the senior. You're the experienced guy. I'll let you open things up because KK's probably scared over here, being a freshman. Shivering over here for the most part. Okay, no, he's all good. He's all good. Let's go back to the last game. Your thoughts on the last game? I know it was a loss, but at the end of the day, I felt like there were some strides considering what happened the week before. You give up 70 to Kansas Wesleyan, but you hold this Bethel team to 21 points from a defensive standpoint. So your thoughts on this past game?
I thought we played pretty good defensively. We opened the game with a turnover on special teams. Then we had another one, I think, in the second quarter.
Yep.
We had a muff punt. Mm-hmm. So we played pretty good the first half. I think the second half we just didn't finish. If we would have finished, I think we would have sealed the game.
Well, first half, you guys were up 10-0 basically right off the bat. So from that standpoint, I'm sure you're thinking, all right, here we go, let's rock and roll. But I want to go to a certain drive that took place for Bethel down at the goal line. Game could be over. All they have to do is just go into the end zone 2 yards out, 3 yards out, and the game is over. But you guys are able to come up with a goal line stand, which I thought that was just tremendous effort. So your thoughts on that goal line stand? How jacked up were you there?
Man, my guy Nolan, he came through and saved us. He scraped from the backside, and he made a great hit. Made him cough the ball up.
Yeah. Well, Nolan had 15 tackles on Saturday. I guess that's pretty decent work.
Yeah, he went crazy.
That certainly did. Caden, I want to bring you in from an offensive standpoint. You're the one that breaks away for that 30-some yard touchdown on Saturday to make it a 10-0 ball game. Here you are as a freshman, already get 2 touchdowns under your belt. So your thoughts of this past game against the Bethel Threshers?
It's just, it was a good game. We knew we were a top 25 team. That would have been a big win. It's just got to keep the ball in our hands and just penalties. But other than that, we just got to drive the ball, keep the clock going, and let our defense do their thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, that touchdown,
Sir.
I knew you had some wheels. I didn't realize that you had the ability to kind of skirt around on the field like that,
Yeah.
even in the rainy conditions. So
Sir.
what was that touchdown run like for you?
It's just I caught the ball, saw a big gap open, knew I had to beat one guy, saw it, made sure he missed, and then just saw a cutback, so I hit it. Got to get my cuts down a little bit faster, but other than that,
He's always
Felt
looking for
great.
more. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
trying to he's looking for more than just 2 touchdowns. He's looking for more. Yeah, what was that like for you being a freshman? I'm gonna go back to Oklahoma Panhandle State there for a moment. You get a touchdown on the board, and I know it wasn't like an 80-yarder or whatever, but it was a nice little 6-yard touchdown run and your first ever as a collegiate football player. What was that moment like for you?
it was different because I don't know, just being a freshman, being 18-year-old kid playing against these 22-year-old men. I mean, passing that touchdown, it hit different, and just I don't know, all the hard work I put in, it's just finally paying off. So.
Well, Coach made it seem like that you're a physical dude when it comes to practice. Is that true?
I try to be a little scrappy. Try to be a scrappy
There's
dude.
Dave. I was waiting for the chuckle over here.
I try to be a scrappy dude, get in everyone's head. Just being that little freshman. But other than that, just do my part.
Little freshman, and yet we go to the big senior over here. What's it like from your perspective watching a freshman like this? He gets a couple touchdowns right off the bat, and I'm not sure how much you had to have with this guy from Gunter, Texas over here, but I guess your thoughts on watching this freshman and some of the younger guys develop this season.
I like it. Guys coming in early like KK, freshman, stepping up, taking a big role. I feel like he'll evolve into a really good player later on in his career. And like you said, he 2 touchdowns earlier in the season as a freshman. He's rolling.
Yeah, not bad at all. Okay, now let's go to you. Here you are, the experienced dude. You're the one who transfers in from Bethel College to follow Coach Terry Harrison. I guess what made your decision? I guess was it just simply Coach Harrison's that dude? I got to follow this guy. What do you think?
Yeah, Coach Harrison, Coach Kelly, Coach Kemp, they're all my guys. They got me at a good time when my school had shut down, my first school.
Yeah.
And I went out to Bethel.
Cincinnati Christian, right?
Yep. And then I went out there to Bethel, and we won our conference championship. And they're just a physical team. They preach a lot of good things, and I wouldn't want to be with anybody but them. So I took a chance and rode with them.
Well, you brought up the championship mentality, so you know what it's like. You've been a part of it. And here you are with a Friends program that won one game last season, a program that's had some issues just trying to win over the past so many years, and now they're trying to change things, trying to change the culture, trying to get to where Bethel was the last couple of years. And I think back to when Coach Harrison took over for Bethel, that team only had 1 win, and yet he turned things around, won a couple of conference championships. So what's it like from your vantage point talking to some of these younger guys and some of these guys that maybe don't know what that championship mentality is? How much do you go about trying to lead them and trying to show them, hey, this is what we got to do if we want to get to this championship mentality?
First is just trust the process. Like, we took a bad loss against Kansas Wesleyan, and, some people got kind of down about it. But like you said, Coach Harrison, he was at a program that was 1-9, 1-10, and he flipped it all the way around, took the team to the playoffs, the national playoffs and everything. So you just got to come in every day ready to work, ready to put in whatever it takes to get there. So,
Gaten, what's it been like for you early on here in your freshman season? Does it feel like things are going too fast? Or do you feel like everything is just, hey, this is no big deal. I'm just a kid from Gunter, Texas, just playing football.
Well, I mean, it's just not everything's too fast, but it's just like he said, you gotta trust the process. I mean, it's new coaches, new teams, so like there's gonna be some bad things. It happens. It's just how you respond to it, and just putting your trust in the coaches. And I think a lot of the kids have a lot of respect for the coaches for what they do, and it's just we gotta keep our head down and keep going to practice every day, keep putting the work in. Eventually it'll pay off for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's certainly a one day at a time, that 1-0 mentality every single day. Got to get better at practice, all that wonderful stuff. So totally makes sense. What convinced you to come up to Wichita to be a Friends Falcon?
Really just the coaches. Like, when you talk to coaches, you kind of get the vibe, kind of get how they roll, and something about just Coach Harrison and Coach Kelly and Coach Kemp and all of them. They just have this vibe that they want to see you succeed, and they want to win, and they want to see you win. And seeing them flip Bethel from 1-9 to 8-3, you can see them do it to Friends, and I want to be a part of that process. I want to be a part of a playoff team, national championship contender, and I just want to win. And I feel like they could do that.
Well, I think I was talking to Coach Harrison. You brought up how you know a thing or two about winning down there in Gunter, Texas. So you kind of already had that winning mentality. Did you play a state championship game at AT&T Stadium or something?
So my sophomore year, my senior year, I got hurt, but we went to the state championship.
Playing at Jerry World? I just went there this past weekend, and that was the first time I caught a game. Unfortunately, are you a Cowboys fan?
Cowboys fan.
I'm sorry.
Texas fan.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Well, the Texas thing, hey, it seems like maybe things are changing there. But from a Cowboys perspective, I'm sorry. That was not enjoyable to watch on Sunday football against Tampa Bay. That was a little bit of a rough one. So, but you've had a chance to experience that. So what was that moment like for you, being a part of that state championship run and getting a chance to go and play at a big stadium like that?
I mean, it was shocking. And I got to do it with my brother. Shout out my brother. He was a senior at the time. But just doing it with him, doing it as just going to Jerry World, and so I kind of have the vibe of what it's like to be at the big stage, but I don't know, I was just ready to be back.
Yeah.
College football for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sure.
Well, you're from Akron, Ohio, so do I dare say you're a Cleveland Browns fan?
Not really.
Yeah, I see. He said, no, I'm good. He's not going to jump on the Bengals bandwagon either, I imagine.
Nah, I just got a lot of favorite players. Like, I follow a lot of DBs. One of my favorite DBs is Tyrann Matthews. So.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you brought that up because we talked about that last week with, I think it was AJJ that brought it up, how, because he likes, I think it was Trayvon Diggs, he said. He tries to model his game after Trayvon Diggs, and I was like, okay, well, that's a really good answer. But look at you. You bring up Tyrann Matthews. So if there's one guy you try to model your game after, it's Tyrann Matthew, the Honey Badger, huh?
Yep, the Honey Badger.
What does he do so well? So are we going to give him the Honey Badger name here?
Need to.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll figure that part out down the line. But what about the Honey Badger? Like, what do you see when you watch him play the game of football that you go, you know what, I want to be like that guy?
You know, he's not the biggest guy on the field, and like myself, but he uses quickness. He's physical. He's really smart. Like he'll read a play and react super quick, and he's just a playmaker. Like you have to be a playmaker at the DB position. You can't just be one-sided. You can't just be a cover guy and not tackle, or a tackling guy and not cover. It just doesn't mix well. So he just got the full package in my eyes.
Okay, fair enough. Tyrann Matthew. What about you, Caden? What about you, KK?
Mine was actually Tyrann Matthew too. Growing up, I was always a defensive player. Through high school, I was always a defensive player to my senior year. Played both sides of the ball my senior year, but it was Tyrann Matthew. I just loved watching him because he does not want to lose. He does not want to lose at all. He's competitive, and he'll get in your face when things start getting rough, and that's what I love about him is he's down for the challenge.
Well, I'm a Chiefs guy, and there's one thing that you probably relate to Tyrann Matthew. You're very active on social media. Just saying. You're probably a lot like Tyrann Matthew when it comes to that. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. I expected you to say like some sort of a running back in the National Football League, but
yeah, I don't know. I like that defensive mentality.
You didn't pick Ezekiel Elliott, so there's a reason why I didn't say Zeke.
I did draft him in fantasy.
Oh, well. I had him last year, and it was kind of a disappointing thing, so that's not great.
He didn't do good.
Well, with you, here you are talking about Tyrann Matthew being your favorite player. Well, here you are playing as one of the B-backs here in this Friends University offense. So what's it been like learning that offense? Surely were you a flex bone guy in high school? Maybe you weren't.
We were pistol option.
Okay, pistol option.
I played the B-back in high school.
Okay, so this is really nothing new to you then. This is kind of simple.
Still got the scheme down.
Okay,
so
fair enough. So this is no big deal then.
A little bit. It's a little bit more detailed, a little bit more faster. But other than that, I got the scheme down.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you already know the schemes because you came from Bethel College, so you know what Coach Kemp is all about. Yeah. The guy came up to me and finally, he goes, hey, I hear you've been talking about me. I was like, yeah, I've been saying that you're crazy. You got all this energy and all this passion, He's got a lot of energy, so you can back that up.
Yeah, he's definitely a crazy guy. I love Coach Kemp.
I want to know what it's like for you. What happens when you see, the front seven, all of them are standing and just shifting around, not knowing where they're going? What's it like from your perspective watching that from the backside being a safety?
I like it because it generates craziness. The offense don't know what's going on or what they're trying to do. And I know we're pulling the trigger quick, either to come downhill and make a tackle or make a play on the ball.
Fair enough. All right, so your social media. Got to get into this here. I was just scrolling earlier today. I was like, man, this guy covers it all. He's a football guy, but big boxing guy. You're a big boxer?
Nah, I'm not a boxer myself.
But you enjoy boxing,
yeah.
though. Okay. Is there any particular boxer that you like?
Right now, my favorite boxer would have to be Gervonta Tank Davis.
Okay.
And then, like, of all time, if I had to pick 3, I would go Roy Jones, Muhammad Ali, and then Evander Holyfield, real deal.
This guy knows what he's talking about over here. A big boxing guy.
Yeah.
Man, you hit the nail on the head. Are you a big boxing dude?
I mean, I'll watch the fights,
Okay.
buy the fights. But
That's
nothing
fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with watching fights. What do you like to do for fun? Like when it's away from football, the answer is study. I mean, that's what you got to do first and foremost. But outside of that, for fun, what do you do for fun?
Just like to go fishing. Other than fishing, late night drives with the buddies, going out to eat. I just enjoy hanging out with other buddies. Relaxes my mind. Just fun being with them.
Fishing guy. When's the last time you've been fishing? Did you catch
before I came
a
up
lot?
here.
Okay.
Yep.
Right
Got
on.
some bass.
Was it a big haul? Did you catch a lot? What do you mainly go after?
Just largemouth bass.
Okay.
Sure.
Davon, do you agree?
Oh, I don't fish that much. I haven't been fishing in a while.
I've only been fishing like twice in my life, and I can tell you I'm still over when it comes to catching a fish. So we'll just leave it at that. Maybe I can get some tips from you or something like that. So what about you, Davon? What do you do for fun when you're not playing football?
I like to play basketball. I work out. If I'm really bored, like, the guys will laugh at me. I just do a bunch of push-ups for no reason.
Okay, we need to dive into that here for a second. So when you're bored, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna get on the ground and start doing push-ups.
Yeah, get big, get strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see this man in the weight room with chains on his back doing push-ups. I'm like, okay, go at it.
For sure.
Why is that? You just do you constantly get you one of those guys that has to constantly be moving? Is that the thing?
That, and with me being a smaller DB, I gotta bring the thump. I'm playing against running backs that's 220, 205. They running as fast as they can. I gotta come downhill and make that tackle.
Okay, fair enough. So if you just see him doing random push-ups, don't freak out. Don't go up to him and be like, dude, are you okay? Because that's what people would be saying to me if I was doing that. So, but it's no big deal to him, huh?
I guess so.
Well, fair enough. Do you do anything crazy like that?
I mean, it's work out.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. That's all good. No big deal. I was just curious about that because it's like, man, I can't imagine what the reaction is when you sit down and you actually see a dude just doing random push-ups. It just seems a little strange to me, but I guess it's just part of the Davon Mason flavor, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, with you being a senior, gosh, are you soaking it all in here this season?
Yeah, it's going good so far. I'm happy with how it's going.
Good. Fair enough. Do you miss Ohio that much?
Not really.
Okay. So Kansas over Ohio. Can we get that on record?
I don't know if I can say that, but for right now,
he's got people watching. That's the thing. So he's like, I can't say it. I can't say it. What about Texas? Texas over Kansas, I guess.
I mean, about the same. I haven't experienced the cold weather here yet. I'm not a big cold weather guy. But
okay, fair enough. We'll see. You got Akron, Ohio. He can tell you all about it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not like the biggest LeBron James guy right now.
I am.
Okay.
I am for sure.
Okay. I thought so. I did a report on LeBron James when I was in high school. So big LeBron guy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those people that says LeBron over Michael Jordan?
Yes. Indeed.
Man, I don't know. Look, I love LeBron, but I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I got MJ.
So we got a nice little debate here. MJ, LeBron.
I guess so.
I mean, they both have their strengths. They're both really, really good players. They're both generational players, so there's nothing wrong with that. You big NBA guy then? No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big NBA guy.
So you just follow LeBron, probably?
Yeah.
Okay. Say if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, then that's dedication. I imagine you're a Mavericks fan.
No, I don't really. Oh yeah, I mean I like Luka Doncic, but
okay, but you're not a big NBA guy though.
Nah, not really. No.
Okay, but you're a baseball guy though. You play baseball, right? So
baseball.
You're a big baseball guy then.
A little bit. I mean, I'm not big into stats or anything, but
okay,
I enjoy baseball
I didn't
a lot.
Didn't know if you're a Rangers guy or something like that.
Rangers fan.
Okay,
got to
fair
support.
enough.
Yes, sir.
All right, good.
Houston fan.
Yeah.
I might get trashed for that, but I like Houston. Might call me a cheater. But.
Where's the trash cans at? Where let's see, I think there's one over that way. So I'll make sure to bring one over here for you so you can feel right at home.
Oh yeah.
Well, fellas, greatly appreciate your time here today.
Sir.
It's been a lot of fun getting a chance to know you guys, and best of luck to you this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Davon Mason from Akron, Ohio. Wave again. This guy just waves. And say KK just I'll just follow suit. Caden Rigsby here to my right. You can catch these guys in action this Saturday up in Hillsboro as Friends University takes on Tabor College. Kickoff at 6 o'clock. Well, that does it for us here on another edition of the Friends University Coaches Show from Chicken Max. We'll be out here every single Thursday at 5:30. Let me tell you about Chicken Max. 3 locations in Wichita. We are at the West of Maple location, 325 South West Street. Chicken Max, locally owned and hatched right here in Wichita, known for their legendary sandwiches, taking the chicken sandwich to the max. Their smoked chicken is smoked in almond wood every day, several times a day in each location, giving it a fresh, unique flavor. Savory sides like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy, potato salad, coleslaw, and more. These two guys had French fries, so I guess they'll have to come on back and try the mashed potatoes and gravy or something like that. Club salads and power bowls, which Caden doesn't eat. He needs to load up on the mac and cheese and mashed potatoes and gravy. Club salads and power bowls with their smoked chicken for a healthy choice. Several sauces unique to Chicken Max. That's Chicken Max, 3 locations. We're certainly proud to be here at Chicken Max, and we say thank you to Chicken Max for making this a reality. That does it for us here on the Friends University Coaches Show. Thank you so much for watching. Talons up.